Hello, I'm Sabrina, and today we're going to be discussing effective lesson plan templates. So let's get started. So as I reflect on previous lesson plans that I've seen, I wonder, was I really being set up for success? At previous school districts, lesson plan templates were not really very formulated or provided for new teachers. Being a new teacher, anxiety is pretty high to know what you're doing, so there weren't enough components to be deemed to be helpful. However, there was one thing that was certain with lesson plan templates. There had to be an objective. As long as you had an objective, you had a lesson plan. My old school didn't know it was my first year teaching until they realized, where's your support? I thought the same thing. So there weren't many guidelines, structure, or room for assessment just as long as there was an objective. It's important to know what you want to get out of your students, so that's why you need more direction, and it was great to also need an assessment. Then I was given an Alliance lesson plan template, and did I win the jackpot is what I wondered. There has to be another way to have more components, and Aligned was definitely the way. It provides structure and the confidence I need to be a first year teacher. The simplicity of Alliance lesson plan also asks for assessment. It brings comfort to know that I have the right idea. I know what I need to teach my students. I know what kind of supports are to put in place. And I know I will always have Alliance to provide the support if I need it. Even as I continue to learn more effective teaching methods, I will also have resources and support of a structured lesson plan. There's also room for a space based off Alliance lesson plan template where I could add notes and reflections, so that way when I read like my students' assessments, how they were able to understand the lesson or what was trying to be told to them, it allows me to have some improvement over the years. And as I continue to use my lesson plans over and over, I will know what to improve and what to get better and what can just overall be bringing more light to my lesson plan, how to make it more fun or more punctual or support more students' needs. And I think Alliance lesson plan template does just that. However, there are 3 elements that I will find challenging. As always, working with coworkers is going to be a challenge. So many people have different personalities and different ways of working, especially working with seasoned veteran teachers. Now, these teachers, as much as they're well respected, they have their set ways in how they like things done and what they believe will work for their students. I do respect that. However, I do believe new teachers can also suggest new ways of learning. I just have a little anxiety having to suggest those when they do have way much more experience than I have. Second one is I don't want to be so structured by the template. Sometimes I get a little fixated on things that work, and when it doesn't align with what I have planned in the structure, I hope to be able to adapt in different ways if things don't go what I hoped for, and to just go from there and just trust that things will work out because I do have the guidelines to get me to where I need to be. Also, relating back to collaborating with other teachers, in the past when I did work on other teachers and co-teaching, the gen ed teacher was not very familiar with the disabilities and how sometimes they may show up for different students. Therefore, when it did occur, and for example, an emotionally disturbed student had an outburst, they expect me to know how to right away fix it. With every situation is different. So I think when co-teaching, it's important to have these outlines to make sure that all situations and diverse students are also addressed for their needs. So with that, I just say I'm very grateful for Alliant in providing me a hopefully successful lesson plan template. Thank you.